When I look out of my window, I am facing a little forest only 10 minutes away. Since I moved back to the Black Forest in Germany 2.5 years ago, I have been walking in it countless times, at first alone, now accompanied by my dog Bray. I normally take the same route, in through the tree gate, left at the crossing, right turn deeper into the forest, then left through the fir tree alley, left behind the muddy spot, and then left again towards the fields and meadows. This is a part of me now, sticking to the things that are comfortable, that are known to me, that work, where I don't have to make big decisions or stress myself out too much while dreaming of different times, safely from the comfort of the little life I built for myself these past 2.5 years. But it is also in my nature to explore, to try out new things, to take risks, to not listen too much to what everybody else thinks and just act. I just seem to have forgotten that. It got buried beneath fear. Every January for the last 3 years, I have been thrown back to 2019, when everything has crashed down in my life. Mourning what came before, underestimating what came after. And even though I wanted to talk about what happened back then on this channel so many times before, I keep shying away from this topic. Afraid to not be understood or accepted, or to just realize and admit to myself that I allowed this part of my past to play a way bigger role than it should have played. So today I finally want to take you on a little trip down the memory lane and walk the route that I took for the first 27 years of my life one last time. For years and years, I knew exactly where I wanted my path to lead. To the stage. I dreamed of becoming a musical theater actress. And I did. Against all the odds and all those people who told me that I would never make it because I was too fat, I got into musical theater school. And I thrived. For 3 years, I felt like I was exactly where I should be, doing exactly what I should do. It was the happiest time of my life, and I had 20 years leading up to it. 20 years of singing and acting and training and hoping and dreaming. That one dream was enough to get me through a lot of tough times in my life. It left no room for doubt and thought of every bad comment or critique from others. I felt like I found my purpose in life. But when I finally graduated and was allowed to call myself a musical theater actress, I was not happy at all. Something drastic and painful had happened in my life back then and overshadowed all the joy I should have felt at that point. Looking back, I am wondering if that was the beginning of the end. Because only 2.5 years later, that big dream that fueled almost all of my life died. I was on stage when I had my first panic attack, playing a comedic role in front of 150 children. Nothing ever felt so wrong again. Having to play a confident and funny person while my inner self screamed in agony and pain. For the first 20 minutes on that stage, I felt like I was about to pass out. My heart was racing, my body close to shutting down under pressure, my head screaming in fear. I had no idea what was happening to me. The word panic attack was not in my vocabulary back then. The worst part was that I was all alone. There was no one there to help me through it. Back then I was touring through Germany for a little theater company all alone, playing funny children's plays at elementary schools. The job did not pay much, but it allowed me to travel all over the country, be independent, and do the thing that I had dreamed about for so long. Make money with acting and singing as a musical theater actress. I was living the dream. My dream. I should have been happy. But I felt like I was trapped in a nightmare. I had been in a really bad mental state the weeks and months before, worrying about money problems, and because of that pushing myself too hard and too far, threatening my health, struggling with depression, losing trust in my body's ability to function normally, wanting to escape the city, my job, my life basically. I don't know how I got through the play that day. And I especially had no idea how I was supposed to be strong enough to do it all over again the next day. The only thought that kept me going in that moment on that stage was how horribly embarrassing it would be to stop. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. I had slept at my mother's house. I had told my mother the previous day about what had happened at the other school and how scared I was that it would happen again. And she said that she would get up in the night and make sure that I was okay before I had to go. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, I heard her coming towards the kitchen, and I just thought in that moment, I can't let her see me in that state I was in, because I was holding it so much together because I was so damn scared and so unsure of myself. And I just thought, you have to do everything possible so that she won't see you, won't see through you. She got into the kitchen and asked me if I was okay, and I was just nodding. She turned around and went back to her room. And in that moment I knew if I wouldn't follow her, then I would actually have to go and get through it all by myself again. And I knew that I wasn't able to do that. So I got up and I went after her and opened the door and just looked at her, and then it was over for me. I can't really remember much, just how scared I was. I was hyperventilating, I was breathing so hard, my heart was racing, my head was circling in fear, and at the same moment it was kind of a release, because I was holding back all of this fear and stress and worries so hard for so long that in that moment just everything came out all at once. I'm actually at that point now in this video where I doubt that I will actually publish it, because I feel so small right now, and I know it's very good to just let it all out and go back there and realize that I've come so much since then, but but it's just the mere thought of putting yourself out there in a situation where you just feel so small and so scared and not really strong at all. It's just very scary. For such a long time now, I have been feeling like a watcher in my own life, pushed towards the sidelines by my fear of losing what I built for myself all over again, not realizing that by trying to protect my heart, I denied it the very thing it probably needs in order to move on, and that is to let go. Let go of the incredible dream that filled the first 27 years of my life with wonder, excitement, success, and joy, and to let go of the fear that put an end to it. Over the last couple of weeks, I came to the conclusion that it is finally time to open up. I am not the small, fragile, scared, and broken shell of a human anymore I was back in 2019. But I'm also not the trustful, unaware, naive, but devoted and passionate girl with a big dream anymore I was before that. Admitting that left me feeling kind of empty. And that used to scare me. One of the most difficult things I had to deal with in the last 3 years was grief. Singing, acting, dancing, all of that had been the main and most important part of my life for as long as I can remember. Once that was gone, I felt like there was nothing left of me. Losing my dream made me feel like I was left behind in the woods at dusk, without a guide to choose my next path. Everything around me getting darker and darker, leaving me blind to all those possible routes I could take. Fear creeping in, preventing me to understand that it has always been my choice which path to take. And that I don't need a dream to keep walking. Once I realized that, I started to stroll, explored little by little new territories, new possibilities, new interests, new sides to myself. Some of them found out of necessity, others spotted way before everything came to an end. And I am really looking forward to keep exploring those new routes the future has in store for me. My life has not left me behind. It will always be waiting for me at the next crossing. So I actually wanted to create a YouTube channel way before all of that happened. And I was so ready to share all of my dreams and my world with you at that moment. And then my world got shattered. And I am so glad that my dream of having a YouTube channel actually survived that crash. But it took me a year in the beginning to get to the point where I was able to post a video and not immediately take it down an hour later or a week later out of fear of judgment, but stand my ground on it and be proud of it and regain back some of that strength I once had to not give a shit what others think, but just realize that I did it for myself mainly. And I'm very proud of every single video I posted in the last 2 years, but I was kind of tiptoeing around all of the facts around what had happened in my past. And it took me another 2 years to get to this point where I'm confident enough, not confident completely, but confident enough to post this video, to stand my ground with this video. I know that all of you who already subscribe to my channel are so loving and supporting, and I'm so glad that you are. That gives me a reality check and not further allows my head to spin tales around what people might think. And now, after telling you about my past, I might be able to tell you further things about how I want my future to look like. I'm still figuring that out, but making this video somehow feels like crushing down that barricade that is just standing between me 3 years ago and me now and future me. So if you're still here, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. And if you went through similar experiences, I would love to hear about it in the comments section. Tell me about it if you are confident enough to share it, obviously, and I will get back to you. So thank you, and I will see you in my next video, hopefully, which will hopefully be next week. So bye bye.